Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey there, folks. My name is Brad Varnell, and this is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. I am excited today here on Monday, October 18th, to share some incredible information with you. I've got some construction going on in the background, so you might hear some pounding, you might hear some dogs barking. Going to do the best that I can to get through this as professionally as possible. Man, my computer still seems to be goofing up on me. I cannot seem to get my countdown timer to work. Are you guys able to hear me okay? Do me a favor and throw a 1 in the chat, or just say yes if you guys are able to hear my voice loud and clear. Today is more of a Monday morning crypto mindset video, but I did want to highlight a little bit of some trades that I've been making here, folks. Part of the reason I wanted to share this with you today is tomorrow is our Trader Tuesday. So our p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, we're going to go through some of this stuff on the BYDFI exchange in a little bit more detail. But, you know, we were talking about this on Tuesday of last week, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys some of the new trades that I've put in and how well this is really going for me. So with the ADA trade here in the middle, you can see I've got $100 put into this ADA trade. Right now, the profit on this ADA trade is $365. So I'm up 360% on this trade. But the reason that I have 100 into it is because I staggered 50 twice. So the first $50 trade that I made would have probably gotten stopped out, but I got a second trade and I had it layered. And so I just wanted to give you guys, you know, some idea of what we're going to be doing tomorrow here on the channel. And I wanted to see if I can, I don't think I can get it here. I wanted to get you guys my affiliate link. If you haven't signed up for a BYDFI account yet, you're definitely going to want to get a account created and give yourself the ability to follow along with me tomorrow and potentially make some of these trades. I'm also going to show you a trade that didn't work out for me, but it was all my fault. But I had a 25x leverage trade in on Ripple that would have probably, I think it was about $100 trade that would have probably been worth $3,000 right now. And unfortunately, I set my stop loss a little too high on it because I was doing 25x leverage. I set my stop loss a little too high. My wife asked me to go grocery shopping. I had to step away from my computer. And unfortunately, it got stopped out. I had my stop loss in at 87 cents. It went down to 86.90, 86.9. And then it went roaring back up. And as you guys know, it's all the way, you know, $1.15 or whatever. So by 1/10 of a cent, it got stopped out. And unfortunately, I wouldn't have been liquidated until it was all the way down around 85 cents. So I'm not quite sure why I put my stop loss in so high. I literally only lost like $9 or $10 on this $100 trade. But what I really lost out on was all of the you know, the profits that I would have made on that. But anyways, enough of that. We're not here to talk about trading. I'll try to get the link in the description. I noticed I never went back. You know, not having my son with me is kind of killing me. But what do? He got a new job, so he's still working for the YouTube channel. But I thought it was important, and it's good for him to have some other responsibilities, because as an 18-year-old, he's had it pretty cush. And so I wanted him to see a little bit about what the real world was like. And so he's got a new job that's taking him away from the YouTube channel. So he's not here in the mornings, and he's the one that does all of the stuff in the background, gets the description ready and gets all of that stuff going. So I'm still having a little bit of trouble. I forget, you know, we did the live stream last Wednesday, and I went to go look at that live stream and copy the description from it and put it into today's description, and there was no description. So I never went back and got the description after the fact. So I'm going to to go get both of those descriptions put into this video as soon as we're done. But if you go back a couple more videos, if you go back a couple weeks, all of the descriptions have a link. In fact, if you want to, the Tuesday, I don't know why I didn't just copy the Tuesday, but the Tuesday trader, I did get that description done, and there is a link to the BYDFI there. And we're also going to be giving away $100 tomorrow on the live stream. So for any of you that go to last Tuesday's video description for the Trader Tuesdays, click the link in there and go create your BYDFI account. You will be eligible for a drawing to win a $100 in USDT tomorrow. Let's run over into the chat here real quick. Good morning, Daniel. Hope you are doing fantastic, my friend. God bless you. Appreciate all that you do. You're killing it and really helping the YouTube channel a ton. Good morning, Dave. How you doing? Good to see you. And then we've got Eric is here. Good morning, Eric. Good. You guys can all hear me. I'm glad that you can hear me. Hopefully the buffering isn't too bad. And good morning, Paul. How you guys doing, man? So the title of this video, folks, is Conceive It, Believe It, Achieve It. It was kind of, especially, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, is a very famous quote. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if it was Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, that came up with that. I think it was. So, conceive it, believe it, achieve it. But I kind of wanted to talk a little bit today about the believe in it part. Good morning, Tim. How you doing? Good afternoon. Good to see you, my friend. So every human being in the world conceives it for the most part. Like, we all have dreams. I mean, I don't care how badly you're doing in life, how, whatever's going on, the challenges, I think it's just a natural thing. God gave us this imagination. So we all are conceiving things all the time. Every single day, you've got something on your mind that you're conceiving, that you're thinking about, that you're dreaming about. Unfortunately, what happens in life is a lot of people, that dream machine gets turned off. And so what'll happen, for instance, with me, I think I'm on a pretty good frequency. I've got, a pretty good positive attitude. So when an idea hits my mind, so now there it is in the conception mode, I'm pretty good at taking that idea and then, chewing on it a little bit and figuring out if it's something that I really do want, if it's something that I really would want to put the effort into having. And if it is, then I definitely believe that I'm capable of making it happen. And I start to put actions into place. And the more action that you take, the more that you start to believe something. And then hopefully, you do the work and you end up, achieving it. Unfortunately, a lot of people have been beaten down so far by life that the thought will hit their brain, and before it has an opportunity to take root at all, to grow in even the smallest form, as fast as it comes into their brain, it's gone again. And they forget it as quickly as it came in. So most people don't achieve anything not because they're not conceiving, but because they don't actually take it from conception and give it an opportunity to turn into something that they can achieve. So why is that? Well, the biggest reason is the belief part. So they conceive something, but they don't believe that it's possible for them. They don't believe they can make it happen. They don't believe that they have the skills, the talents, the ability. And that's painful. If you dwell on it for very long at all, it's pretty painful to, figure out that you don't have the skills, talents, or abilities. So what most people do, they don't want to go through that pain. So it never gets past the thought in their mind. It's a quick, fleeting thought. And what I want you guys to be aware of is, if it's happening in your life, knock it off. You are made in God's image. and you have the ability. Sorry, the contractor had to come in the house for a second. I knew that was going to. I did everything I could to avoid having to have this happen right during the live stream, but there's just no way around it. Hey, Murdoch, shut up. So, you know, God made you in his image. You are put here on this earth to do something incredible, to do something special. And here, give me 1 second, guys. Oh, man, driving me crazy. I realized just little stuff that you don't think about when you're trying to get a live stream going. My wife started the dishwasher this morning, and it looks like it's not all the way done. I don't know if you can hear it, but every so often the dishwasher's like backing up into the sink, and I'm hearing this water running, and it's driving me crazy. So let me go turn it off real quick. I'll be back in 2 seconds. It amazes me sometimes that you guys even watch me. I can't believe some of the comical, you know, things that happen on this channel. I am definitely one of those guys. I was talking with my filmographer when he was here on Thursday. We got a ton of incredible content, videotaped, a lot of good projects, a lot of things going on. And the editor, he's also my editor, but we were talking about like the checks and balances, having a checklist. You know, part of the reason that I didn't get the description on the video last Wednesday or this or today was I just didn't have a checklist. By the time I thought about it, it was too late. You know, I tried to get the checklist on there at the last second. My computer was freezing up a little bit. I realized if I tried to get the description going, that there was a good chance that this was all going to freeze up on me. So I just gave up on it. But long story short, the description could have been put on it last night. The description could have been put on it, you know, an hour ago. I've been doing things for the last hour and a half in the background. So it's mainly just not having a checklist. But that like that, I mean, like I knew the dishwasher was on, that I needed to turn it off before I started doing my thing today, yet I didn't. And so, but with that, folks, you know, you got to start believing that you can achieve the things that you want to achieve. And part of the reason that I was talking about that today is there's a lot of people that are right on the cusp of really having some incredible things happen to them in the cryptocurrency markets. I mean, we're sitting, Bitcoin is still holding strong at $91,000. I was just listening to a couple of different channels that I really like, that there's a possibility that we might head up and hit a brand new all-time high today. We might break through and see like $95,000 Bitcoin. And so there's some really good things getting ready to happen in our lives. But for those of you that don't really believe it's possible, you'll figure out ways to sabotage it and screw it up. So some people are watching this and maybe they still have never bought any crypto. So they conceived it. They started to figure out that cryptocurrency was a way that they could create wealth. But because it was new to them, their mind got the better of them. And before they could actually believe it was possible for them, they got scared and they never invested. There's a million different things that can happen. But folks, I just want you to think about how many ideas you've had in your lifetime, or even just over the last 5 or 10 years, that could have potentially turned into millions of dollars in your pocket, but they didn't, because they never went from that conceive it phase into the believe it phase. And it's the believe it phase. When you start to believe it, that's when you start taking the right actions and start moving in the direction. And so you got to go from the conceive it to believe it. So what do? How can you help yourself believe that you can do the things that you're conceiving, that you can have the things that you want? Well, folks, it's so important just to get around the right people. So I'm glad that you're spending a little bit of time here with me today. You got to get around the right people. You got to get around some winners. So most of us, especially if we are hanging around people that have been taught to go to school, get a good education, get a good job, and we're just ingrained and we're around a lot of average people, it's a little bit hard sometimes to break free. And there's nothing wrong with average people unless you want to be exceptional. If you don't want to be average, then you got to hang around. You got to hang around some people that are above average, that are trying to do the same things that you want to do, that are trying to create the same thing. So the best way to do that, to start with, is through what you're listening to on a daily basis. So I highly recommend, I know you guys have heard me say this before, but for any of you that are working out or exercising or doing anything like that on a consistent basis, and you usually just listen to music, I would highly suggest that you go find some podcasters that you like. A few of my favorites are Ed Milet, Myron Golden, that's MYRON, Golden, Myron Golden, Ed Milet. I really like, David Meltzer and Brad Lee and Andy Elliott. Everybody's going to have a little bit different style. A couple of those guys, cuss too much, for my liking. I'm not, believe me, when the camera's off and I'm on my own, I use my fair share of cuss words. I'm by no means perfect in that category, but some of them, kind of take it to a whole new level where they got to use, the F word in every other sentence. And the content is so good in some of the cases that I listen to it, but I don't want to turn you on to something that's going to be extremely offensive to you. So Ed Milet is incredibly clean. He's a Christian man, really good family, morals, ethics, and super successful too. So like if I had to choose one podcast for you to listen to, I'd just tell you to go soak up as much Ed Milet as you can. The other things, folks, if you're having time getting in the positive, if you're having trouble getting the mind stuff set, listen to these podcasts in your car. So once again, like anytime you're listening to music, unless it's, like Christian worship music that you're using in the morning in your house to get you into the spirit and, to spend some time with God, I would recommend listening to a podcast when you're in your car, or listening to a podcast when you're at the gym or doing something, even if you're just outside doing yard work and you pop in your earbuds and you're mowing your lawn and you're listening to some music when you're mowing your lawn. I recommend start listening to podcasts. That's one of the quickest ways that you can spend time with people that have cultivated the right mindset, that have the success and that have the things that you want in life. Once again, then you also have hands-on where you're actually have an opportunity to interact, with me rather than just listening to me. We've got these live streams where you can ask questions, where you can talk, where you can chat. We have the Infinite Crypto Inner Circle, which is a little bit more intimate. If you're in the inner circle, when we do those meetings, you actually have the ability to have your voice heard. You can get pulled up on screen and literally ask a question and have a conversation with me right during the Infinite Crypto Inner Circle. And then the last, not last, but, one of the another important thing is the books that you read. If you have an opportunity to get some good quality books in your life, The Power of Positive Thinking, Think and Grow Rich, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success Through Selling, by Frank Bedker. I mean, there's just, I'm reading, a bunch of different books here. I mentioned it to you. I haven't started reading this one, but it kind of looks like a cool one. It's not necessarily a mind way, but a 100 ways to motivate other people. I've got my Wayne Dyer here, this, CD, change your thought meditation. This is some real old school stuff here. Jim Rohn, Unshakable Character. Hey, cat. Ugh. Come here, kitty. Can't be stepping on a computer screen. So there's a lot of different ways that you can change that mindset and get your belief to a high enough level to where you start taking the things that you conceive and start putting them into action. And so, this one's a little bit shorter and sweeter live stream because there's not a whole lot. I mean, what more can I say? It really is a proven formula, though, that if you conceive something and then you spend enough time working on it and thinking about it and putting it into your mind to where you believe you can accomplish it, then you will go out and achieve it. So it might sound, cliche, but, conceive it, believe it, achieve it is really a formula to go out and create whatever you want in life, whether it's health or relationships or anything. Like if you're unhealthy and in bad shape, you probably think about getting healthy a lot. There's probably a lot of times where you think about, man, if I could lose 25 or 50 or 100 pounds, how much better my life would be. So you conceive it. It's just a matter of taking it from conception and actually believing that it's possible, and quit telling yourself all of the negative stuff. Quit telling yourself all of the negative junk. The past is the past. But what'll happen is you'll be like, yeah, man, it'd be really nice to lose 25 or 50 pounds. And then immediately your mind says, yeah, but you've tried that 10 times. I should go get me a gym membership. Yeah, but you've had, you know how many hundreds of dollars you've wasted on gyms? Like every time you go get a gym membership, you work out for a couple of weeks. You work out for a couple of weeks and then you quit. But you quit working out, but you don't quit paying for the gym. So how many of us, I mean, if I had even just, if I had all of the money back for gym memberships that I've spent, and like any time I didn't go to the gym for the whole month, I got that payment back, I would have thousands of dollars in my pocket. So I know what it's like. But folks, that was then and this is now. The reason that you're still considering it, thinking about it, and wanting to do it and know that it would be good for you is because it's something that you can do. It is something that is important enough that you can do it. But you have to, once again, you have to let it germinate and grow some roots. So the next time you talk about or think about getting healthy, doing something differently with your exercise and your diet, don't start dwelling on all of the times that you thought about it and it didn't work, or all of the times that you started and you quit after a day or a week or a month. That's okay. You can fail 1,000 times as long as you get back on your feet and keep moving forward 1,001. And so whatever it is in your life that you really want to see happen, keep conceiving it, build that dream machine. So one of the things that I've found that successful people do better than average people is they dream more. So although all of us have things that come into our mind that could turn into dreams, a lot of times it's just accidental. Like we're driving down the street and a car drives by and we'll see and we'll think, man, it would be nice to own a car like that. And a lot of times that's the end of it. Like once again, we go from the conceive, you think about it, man, it'd be nice to own a car like that. And then you're immediately back to driving down the road, thinking about the job that you're headed to or whatever, or even worse yet, you think, yeah, but that's not me. I'll never make enough money to have that kind of a car. That kind of a car is just for, lucky people or, the elite or whatever it is that you tell yourself. So you had the dream. That was something that started to come into your mind that you would like to have. And before it ever even had a chance to take even a tiny amount of root, you kicked it out. And that's what I mean about just being aware. The next time you see a car and you think, man, I'd like to have a car like that, take a little bit more time and make sure that you really would. So that's the other thing. Sometimes you're going to think about it a little bit more. It was a knee-jerk reaction. Then when you really think about it, you're like, no, that really isn't the car that I would want. That's not my dream car. but what is your dream car? And then you start thinking about, maybe you think about 5 or 10 different cars, and then you finally figure out which one it really is. But if you don't have the awareness and realize what you're doing, and that you're just dismissing things that are coming into your mind before they even take hold, you'll never get to that point where you really decide what it is you want and can take it and give it, the attention that it deserves. And so, we talk about it all the time that being specific with what you want, writing it down, getting it on paper is, so important. And so, with that, folks, I'm going to wrap this up fairly quickly. I don't want you guys to have to go through more dogs barking and sinks making noise and so on and so forth. Plus, it looks like my computer, I can't tell. It feels like it's a little bit choppy. So hopefully you guys aren't having a miserable time, hearing me. But, really take some time to figure out what you want and formulate your plan and get excited about what is coming here in crypto. I mean, man, we've got some amazing things getting ready to happen. It looks like we are on the verge of the biggest crypto bull run that we've ever seen, with everybody that is getting, put in place, with Elon Trump, and Vivek coming in on board. And now I'm not sure if it's going to happen or not, but I do think that there is a possibility that Charles Hopkins is going to have some type of a position and some type of a role in moving cryptocurrency forward during this administration. And that's going to be awesome for Cardano, but it's going to be great just for cryptocurrency, altogether. I mean, I thought that the 17 going into 18 bull run was phenomenal. And then I thought the 20 going into 21 was incredible. But I think that what we're going to see, it's going to be, I don't even think I'm dreaming big enough yet, to be honest with you. I haven't got my mind wrapped around how incredible the next 4 years can be. And I don't know when we're going to see the next bear. Like, I think there's some potential that with everything that's happening, by this time next year, which is right when in 2021 the market started heading down and we had an awful rest of 21, 22, and most of 23, man, I think that there's a possibility that we are really going to see this super cycle where crypto just doesn't quit for a while to come, because with everything that's coming together, I think we are going to see some adoption finally. I think we're going to finally start to see like that tipping point back in the computer days where, for the first 10, 15, 20 years that computers were around, only the elite had them. They weren't mainstream yet. Now I've got, I don't know, I mean, every single person in my family owns a laptop. Every single person, we've got 2 or 3 desktops. We've all got our cell phones, which are mini computers. I mean, like every single person, every single household on the planet pretty much has a computer, and most of the time multiples. But if you go back, even 30 years ago, a lot of people didn't have a computer. And even those that did usually just had one. And when it was like a family, a family-owned computer, there was one computer and you had to fight for it. Same thing with cell phones. Same thing with the horse and buggy going into the automobile industry. Like every time there's been this disruptive technology, there's always this 10 or 15 or 20 year period of time that it takes for it to really start getting accepted and adopted by the masses. Well, folks, Bitcoin was invented, I forget if it was 2008 or 2009, but back late 2008, 9, right in that range. So we're talking about 15 years ago now. That's a long time for things to germinate and to populate. And the thing about crypto is, like, when Microsoft boomed, that was great for computers, but it wasn't necessarily something that was worldwide. Like cryptocurrency as a whole has way more investors and is drawing and attracting way more people into the markets than some of those 90.com, companies did a little bit of this, but what we're seeing with the investment and the ability for people to make money, and we're also going through, economically with the inflation and everything that's hitting all of us so hard, we've never needed a light at the end of the tunnel more than we've needed it now. And so I firmly believe that we're not going to see the same kind of bear that we've seen in previous cycles. I think that we're going to have a longer bull. And I do think that at some point in time, everything that goes up must come down, especially when it's gone up, 3, 4, 5x in like Bitcoin's case, or 10x if you want to go from, its low of 15, 16, 17,000, it's probably going to 10 to 15x or something like that. But a lot of the other stuff is going to 25, 50, 100x, 1000x. So that there's going to be a period of time where things start to come back down. But with the ETFs that are getting put in place, with all of the smart money, Michael Saylor just bought a bunch more Bitcoin. There's going to be more and more companies that realize that they need to have Bitcoin on their balance sheets. There's going to be more and more countries that realize that they need to have Bitcoin on their balance sheets, or even just use Bitcoin as their monetary system. And there ain't enough Bitcoin. I mean, there's only 21 million of them, minus the 5 or 6 million that have gotten lost over the years from people that, lost their wallets and stuff. Back in the beginning, people didn't understand how important it was to protect their seed phrases and all of that. There's millions and millions of Bitcoin that's never going to get retrieved. So holy smokes, if there's only, say, 16 million Bitcoin, there's not enough Bitcoin. It's gonna be pretty, like, 5-6 years ago, we talked about how if you owned one Bitcoin, you were going to be relatively in the elite. Obviously can only be 15 million people that own one. And there's way more than 15 million people out there that it could have afforded to buy one Bitcoin, especially when it was 25, 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. So there's only so much Bitcoin. It is finite, and it is getting, less and less and less. We just had the halving a few months ago, and I could go on and on and on as to why Bitcoin is going to continue to go up in value. But my point was, there's a lot of people that the odds of them ever owning one full Bitcoin are probably pretty slim. But what I'm here to tell you is it's not going to be very long before you're not going to be able to own a quarter of a Bitcoin if you don't get on it. And so my point is, folks, is with every, when it gets to the point where owning 1/10 of a Bitcoin is a big deal, like, seriously, think about it. If Bitcoin goes to 3 million or 15 million, like Michael Saylor believes it's going to over the next 15 years, at 3 million, even 10% of a Bitcoin is $300,000 that you would have in Bitcoin. And so, we are in for an incredible ride over the next handful of years. So really start to believe that you can have your dreams, that you can have everything that you have been working so hard for over the last handful of years. And then go out and get it, make it happen. And so, with that, folks, I'm excited for Trader Tuesdays tomorrow. I'm going to go update this description in this video immediately. So, but folks, if you don't have your BYDFI account, go get into one of the other descriptions. Last Tuesdays, go get your BYDFI account set up right now. If you put it off, if you're thinking about doing it, if you think it's a good idea, you're going to do it later, I'm telling you, life will get in the way and you won't do it. Do it now. Go get your BYDFI account created right now. Hey, Murdoch. It's always the smallest one that does the most barking. But go get that BYDFI account set up. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. There won't be any construction or any distractions, man. We're going to really go through and show you once again, these these, these trades and this trading strategy that I have here that's doing these kind of numbers, folks. I mean, those are massive numbers. Those of you that watched last Tuesday will see, like, this V-chain trade is brand new. I just put in this V-chain trade, I want to say maybe 48 hours ago. It was over the weekend, and it's already up, over 100%. Oh, you guys are killing me. Hey! Valkyrie! All right, you guys. So, with that, we'll see you on Tuesday. We will see you on Wednesday. And looking forward to having a great week. God bless. Have a great day.